Welcome to our webinar, Transform Your Engineering Data into Your Most Powerful Asset with SolidWorks. I'm Mike DeKoning, a Technical Solutions Consultant here at TPM. I was a CAD and PDM administrator for 12 years, and I joined TPM in 2019, focused on the SolidWorks data management solutions. I'm involved with support, training, and implementations. I have certifications for SolidWorks design and PDM professional administration, and I'm a CAD programmer. And I'm joined this morning by my colleague, Rob Stoklosa. Hi, Rob.
Hey, Mike. Thanks for joining, everybody. Hopefully you find the information informative here. We've tried to span the gamut on the PDM solutions and how to better solve some of these challenges you all are facing. Many of you probably spoke with me in the past, and for those of you that haven't, I'm Rob Stoklosa with TPM, and I'm out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Mechanical engineer. I've been with the company quite a while now. I primarily deal quite a bit with the DOE, aerospace, automotive environments, so I'm very familiar with the compliance standards and adhering to those types of processes and the unique challenges sometimes that they bring with ITAR and whatnot. I have quite a few certifications, including background in SIM, PDM, inspection, and our model-based definition applications. And I've been around quite a while, everybody. 20 plus years. Started off with some resellers, worked for some of these companies directly, but Autodesk, PTC, and Dassault Systems all are within my wheelhouse. So if you're looking to migrate or integrate any of those types of data formats, please feel free to reach out. We have quite a depth of experience dealing with that. I hope you find this whole webinar informative, and it develops some questions that you can reach back out to us with, and we can further delve into your particular case. Thanks, Mike.
Okay. So I got you beat, Rob. I've been working with 40 years, or working with CAD for 40 years now. 35 of those years were in industry prior to joining TPM. And I always worked with a data management system. Over the years, they became more automated or computerized, but I always knew I wasn't wasting time and effort working on files that were not the correct ones. These systems were maintained by corporate IT staff, in some cases requiring custom programming to update them. In the intervening years, companies began to leverage cloud-based applications for email and other business systems. Today, applications like Salesforce, Business Central, DelmiaWorks, NetSuite, and others are used by thousands of companies. Mobile devices allow us to work from nearly anywhere around the world. Have you heard any of these statements or questions around your engineering department or office? If so, I can guarantee that you have not adopted data management for your CAD files, arguably the lifeblood of your organization. So let's hear from some SolidWorks users who faced the same challenges before their employers adopted engineering data management.
We asked our SolidWorks users, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear overwrite, lost files, and duplicated work?
It's common. It's a big problem.
Wasted time. Someone's going to have to waste time. You got to pay for something to get done over again that was already done.
Duplication is not fun.
Headaches. A lot of headaches.
Losing a big project.
Wasted time. Those are the words.
Words I can't say.
We asked our SolidWorks users, what's the most ridiculous file name you've ever seen?
One of the guys always called parts hoofer-doofers.
The most ridiculous file name was boondoggle.
The craziest thing I've ever seen is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Part one. There's always 20 or 30 of them in your file system, and you're never going to figure out what that part one is.
Possibly one where I called it like bottom base. It was like 2 bottom bases.
Final, and then final 2 and final 3, and then the actual final. That's probably the progression of a lot of people's file naming.
We found a bolt. The part number was about 27 digits long.
There was a file name called Stuff and Stuff. I thought that was a pretty good one.
I love those.
I love them too.
Yeah. So how does data management address these issues? So for one, performance. Users are always working with clouds or with files stored on their computer, which is how SolidWorks CAD was designed to work. When users cannot find existing files, they tend to recreate them. SolidWorks Data Management allows users to search for existing files using criteria other than which folder it's stored in or the file name itself. Without version control, accidental saves can overwrite a valid file, requiring rework and then possible errors. Files can only be modified by one user at a time, thus avoiding costly overwrites as well. Data management systems can automatically fill in the drawing title block and ensure the correct information is entered. Standard file templates can be shared by all users, ensuring consistency for your documents. Users no longer need to email files or send PDFs in order to work together on a project.
Thanks, Mike. I'm going to speak to the cloud-based solutions that we have here for just a minute. I know many of you are currently on a PDM, standard or professional. So for those of you that are there or looking at data management, just understand you have choices these days. The technology's come quite a bit. We have our 3D Experience platform, which you probably at this point have seen some of the marketing campaigns that are out there. It's not new anymore, and it's starting to gain some traction, so we just really wanted to make you aware of the tool sets available. The share and markup functionality, we're finding that's an excellent first step for small to medium-sized engineering companies to get involved in the platform. There is no upfront hardware you got to worry about. We just kind of get everyone, the roles situated and get you on the platform. It's a great tool for communicating design changes. It's integrated completely into your SolidWorks desktop, so you don't have to worry about losing, what we all come to love and use every day. There's a button in your SolidWorks desktop that allows you to publish this data directly to the cloud, packages it up very nicely, and then allows you to share that and collaborate with external or internal people. So clients, supply chain, internally design reviews, this tool seems to be filling that gap. And we really had no solution for that to this point. So let's take a little further look at share and markup and see what you think.
This was a challenge for me in my years in industry. So directly from SolidWorks, you can share a file for review and markup. And as you see, you can go ahead and you can add users, either external or internal to your company. You can add a message and send that through email to anyone who needs access to that. They'll get an email with a link, and at that point, they'll be taken to the 3D Experience platform where they have many markup tools available to them in order to share ideas without having to have that back and forth collaboration through email. As you can see, there's similar to forums, there's a way for you to see the complete history of the dialogue that you've had with the design. And this is completely stored in the 3D Experience platform, and you get notification. You no longer have to worry about receiving an email. You can go right in here and see it directly and communicate with your collaborators. Excuse me. For drawings, you can share a PDF file or other types of files so that people can see the drawings themselves, and they can annotate those in the same fashion as well, the same type of communication. You can also share a SolidWorks file export. So whether it's STEP, STP, that's going to be used for to look at machining or additive manufacturing. If desired, actually the SolidWorks part file itself can be shared for further possibilities as far as collaborating on a design. You can revoke the access to the design as well if you need to, in order to make sure that your intellectual property is not shared with others. You can update an existing design once you've made changes, or you can actually upload it as new. You also have the capability of having lightweight versions of large designs available for people to review on low-powered or maybe even non-Windows devices like tablets and phones. So that's kind of share and markup, a fantastic way in order for you to collaborate not only internally, but externally as well with your users. So Rob, what else do we have on the cloud data management side?
Well, the cloud platform, it's quite extensive, everyone. So, you know, there's a challenge in presenting this level of complexity as well for our side. So we've kind of broken it up into the share and markup, which you're now aware of. The next level up from that, we would refer to as store and revise. It's more analogous to the PDM solutions that we have today, where we're just getting our data onto the platform. We have some approval processes put in place. It's excellent for small to medium engineering departments, or those that are collaborating worldwide or across the country, either one. And as I mentioned, it kind of ties into that basic PDM functionality. So if you're familiar with that, this is kind of the level that we would want to have some further discussions around. The next level up from that gets into more of a PLM type of feel, but it's very rich with functionality. It's things that, you know, we really haven't had access to. Manage does some good tools for it, but this is cloud-based. So it has a full routing built into it to get your data from one end to the other, including many different team members and departments. It is lifecycle management, as I mentioned. It's a PLM tool, so we can kind of pull in that level of intricacy into our workflow. And it has a fully built-in routing platform for your engineering change control. Another tool that many of you are missing when you're on that PDM level, right? We don't get that really rich engineering change control that some of you have been looking for. So there's 3 levels to the cloud-based data management solutions. Like I said, we're trying to get everybody into shared markup right now. It seems to be a great first step, and I'd ask you how you're sharing and marking up today, because I've seen some pretty interesting solutions. So please reach out and have some conversations on this, and we can introduce you further into the store and revise and some of those manage and control applications as well. Thanks, Mike.
Okay. So on-site data management, in other words, you know, either in your company itself, or this also includes things like for platforms like Azure or AWS. Those provide what we call infrastructure as a service, or IaaS, but they don't eliminate the burden of upkeep required, such as backups and upgrades. So the cloud-based solutions are allow you to eliminate that burden of maintaining a system internally. The PDM standard was introduced in 2016 as a data management solution. It's included with SOLIDWORKS Professional and SOLIDWORKS Premium. It's kind of the little brother of SOLIDWORKS PDM Professional. It includes capabilities for most small engineering departments for their SOLIDWORKS files, such as version control. Really handles SOLIDWORKS files and DWG files in an excellent fashion. And it provides those search capabilities, which we alluded to earlier, that would not be available for people to find their files, and instead they would just recreate them. There are also file and bill of materials previews available that do not require the native CAD application or Excel in order to find that information. There's also where used information, which is not available when you're working within SOLIDWORKS, that tells you if you're going to modify a file, what other assemblies are going to be affected by that. The next step up is SOLIDWORKS PDM Professional, introduced in 2007 for medium to large engineering departments. It leverages the information in PDM standard, including the files, but it's built on top of that with additional capabilities. It's for multiple departments in multiple locations. You can handle additional file types, Microsoft Office and so forth. The templates that I alluded to earlier that you would want to have standardized across your company are available in PDM Professional as well. And there's more opportunities to automate and integrate with other systems. And in 2018, SolidWorks launched SolidWorks Manage. Now, this is similar to a PLM. It doesn't have all of the capabilities of PLM, but because of that, it's actually a simpler application to implement. It has flexible processes. It also has advanced bill of materials capabilities such as BOM variants. It has project management, which is analogous to, say, to Microsoft Project, but you can attach documents to different tasks in your project. It also includes dashboards and reporting, which will give you an overall idea of how processes are working within your organization. So, Rob, why don't you kind of talk through our overview of our data management solutions?
So, right, you've seen now kind of the different flavors we have, everyone. There's a few questions you need to ask yourself. Are you looking for an on-premise solution, or are you looking to offload the hardware requirements? That's a good first question because it helps steer you down the right path. Again, I would encourage everyone to start looking at cloud-based. If you're not ready for it, that's fine. But you owe it to yourselves and to your companies to at least get familiar with kind of what's coming down in the future there and how that might apply to your company goals, 3 to 5 year plans even. I mentioned share and markup, so that's the great first step. Please reach out to us. We can get a little bit further into that. If you're on PDM today and you're looking to just step into it a little further, we'd like to look at how we can move that data up onto a cloud-based platform like 3D Experience and handle those same types of functions of storing, revising, managing version controls, and getting them approved correctly in the engineering department. As far as the on-site solutions, as we mentioned, we have our SolidWorks PDM standard. So for those of you on the call that have nothing, please take a look at PDM standard. You definitely need something. Mike's slide with all those questions of that we commonly run into. Well, what's the part number? Where is the referenced file? PDM standard addresses all those questions Mike had. So it's very easy to implement, very easy to get stood up in your company and get the culture kind of on board. So at least look at that. For those of you with a little bit more intense of an environment and you want some more control over approvals and engaging other departments, we encourage you to take a look at the PDM Professional application. That has a little bit more intense implementation to it, but our strategy and our approach that TPM brings to that really makes it an easy turnkey solution for you once you do pull that trigger. And of course, SolidWorks Manage, it's our PLM solution. It enriches things that much more. For those of you that are having trouble with your bill of materials, which we probably almost everybody on this call is, right? Our SolidWorks bill of material and our ERP BOM don't always sync up. There's a lot of creative ways that we're making that happen. SolidWorks Manage could be a tool you could look at to help automate some of those functions.